but we're rolling. Chris,
Great.
thanks for being here.
Oh, awesome. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but 25 years, Buffalo Restoration.
35.
35.
This year's our 35th anniversary, January 1. And this is my 26th year personally working at Buffalo Restoration full time. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It's
So-
a big one.
Where do we start after that kind of intro of 35 years?
Oh boy. Where the business started?
Yeah, was it parents or grandparents?
Yep. Yeah. So my mom and dad started Buffalo Restoration in 1991, in the garage of our house.
I'm going to tell you something funny and cut you off. That's the year I was born.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's wild.
Yeah.
They had a business called Buffalo Painting, from 1979 to 81. And they saw there was an opportunity for a higher level of customer service in the restoration industry here in Bozeman. People were not happy with the service they were getting, and my parents they love people. They still just tell stories about their customers and how much they love servicing and taking care of, and all their painting people, the customers that they took care of. So they saw an opportunity to provide more customer service. They didn't know anything about restoration. My dad came here to go to MSU, and he got a degree in business from MSU, and that's where he met my mom. And education. So he went out and wanted to learn more about how to do it right. They knew they had the people skills, and just to bring those industry best practices to Bozeman, to make it feel like home again. The work that we do is all about health and human safety and making buildings safe for people to inhabit, regardless of, what type of peril they've been through. If it's fire damage, water damage, mold, there's all things that can degrade indoor air quality. And so it's education around the prescriptive way to make a home or building inhabitable for anybody. Yeah.
That's a Bozeman, American, Montana story, from MSU to starting your own business to 35 years later, still operating.
Yeah, it's what they did, scraping that thing out of the earth, right? What my mom and dad did to start and found the business. I look back at it thinking, like, how did they do that and raise 3 kids at the same time and build that business? Is truly incredible.
Yeah, I think that with my parents, because we had a family farm, and the 4 of us kids, and running the farm is, it's a giant thing.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
That makes complete sense that you would go from painting to that, because you're doing painting as a finished product, but all that, everything prior is going to be the restoration.
Mhm.
I'd imagine in a lot of circumstances, so I could see a lot of frustrations if you're the guy coming in to paint, and the whole restoration process is, if they haven't laid the right foundation, the painting itself is going to be, you're trying to cover up a lot of, terrible work if it wasn't your work.
Yeah. Or you're at the end of the project when the customers or the homeowners have, kind of reached their saturation point, and you get to hear all the frustrations. But yeah, being the last person on the job site, usually people have hit their wall. So yeah, they just are like, hey, I know we can do this. It's all about meeting people and where they're at. And when we go into their homes, they're not having a good day. They've got birthdays, anniversaries, vacations planned, and they're not having a good day. So the compassion that it takes from our team to go and meet somebody where they're at and build trust with them, and find a solution that's valuable for them. Every person, I say there's 3 things that drive their decision making. It's either health and human safety, convenience, or money. And we get to go into the situation, evaluate it, find out what the customer values, what do they want to see happen, and then find a way to get it for them.
I think of one instance in particular, because it's a client of mine for a long time, and I think it was 2 years ago. His pipes froze, and just destroyed his entire kitchen, and I know you guys were in there. So
Yeah.
I think of those types of circumstances, and I'm sure they vary pretty widely. But yeah, you're probably, when you're dealing with people, there's a pretty big mess on their hands. That where to even start with something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Is, try to prevent secondary damage, make sure that it doesn't get worse, evaluate it, find out what's going to be the best for the homeowner. And then, we're navigating insurance policy and all of that. But, ultimately it's all in the relationship that we make with the homeowner and get them involved in it as well. It's nice to go help people, but we can't be rescuers. We're here
Yeah,
to coach and they have to be involved as well.
is the majority of everything you're doing insurance work?
It depends. I would say a big volume of it is the policies and things are changing and what's covered and what's not covered through policies. Um, but yeah, primarily is covered. But sometimes people don't even, they're afraid to even turn in a claim because they think they might get dropped on their insurance. So the landscape's changing, but it always has. And we just keep learn how to navigate it.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Somebody hit one of our cars recently. It was actually a 16-year-old kid, so he was on his parents' policy, and they wanted to not file a claim because it's going to bump your insurance way up, and it was such a minor incident with so much damage that they ended up making the claim anyway. But I could very much see that, and I can, as a business owner, commercial insurance, it's
Yeah.
expensive, and
Yeah.
it doesn't take much to double your premium. So
Hmm.
that makes complete sense.
It's scary, and people, I think that, again, that's why creating that trust, and helping them navigate it, picking, pointing out all the different pitfalls and the possibilities, and helping paint a picture for them so that when they get to the end, they know where they're going to be, and it's not a surprise. Yeah,
Are you guys in Big Sky a lot?
yeah, we do. We travel up and down the canyon quite a bit.
Somebody just mentioned this recently, and I'm almost even reluctant to say it, but it's just a thought. But if there was a bad fire in Big Sky, I could only imagine because
Oh
there's
yeah,
it's dense up there. It's not the nice thing about Bozeman in the valley is we've got somewhat of a barrier from the dense, but you see all those fires in California and all over the West, and it's crazy to think about something like that.
oh yeah. It could be devastating. I know from everything that I've heard, I know they're working very proactively, getting, cutting edge identification systems set up there to limit exposure as much as possible. But yeah, that would be quite the deal.
Hi, folks. Quick note from me. If you don't already know, the goal of Mountain Mule Media is to build real connection between Montana's businesses and the people they serve. If this episode or any other has given you something worth thinking about, smiling at, or passing along, I've got a small ask. Share it with a friend, text it to someone, post it in your story. That one simple action helps these businesses get seen, grow, and thrive, and it helps this show keep going. Thank you for supporting these Montana businesses. Now back to the show. When I'm sure everyone knows it, who ever goes to Bridger skis, the tractor with the State Farm sign on it. It's been
Yeah,
there forever.
yeah. It's unfortunate. It's
And I wonder how much, what how many people had insurance for something like that and what got covered and what didn't. Were you guys involved with a lot of, a lot of stuff was obviously just complete rebuilds, but
yeah. There was some total loss, a lot of total loss. We put out some FYI things for people that were experiencing total loss to think about while they go through their claim processing and handling. We did a lot of secondary smoke cleaning for homes that had been infiltrated from the wildfire smoke. And that was really nice to just be able to go in and get all of that soot cleaned out of the houses. Um, Fire smoke can be corrosive when mixed with metal and condensation or humidity. It starts to rust things. So being proactive on those is really important. But it was nice to be able to go serve the community in that way.
and what's the full scope of what you guys do? I think I talked to one of your guys a while ago at a chamber event or something. He was talking about maybe some automobile stuff you guys do as well.
Yeah, we sometimes we clean bear spray out of
Mm.
cars. We clean bear spray or somebody's been leaving a vehicle parked for a while and the rodents move in, we'll do some, rodent cleaning and removal from vehicles. But our services is, fire damage cleanup and deodorization, water damage, drying and rebuilding, mold remediation, cleanup. We clean up after pigeons and bats and rats and mice. We do carpet cleaning, duct cleaning, oriental rug cleaning. We do some of the trauma crime scene cleanup kind of stuff as well. And I don't think I mentioned duct cleaning. We do air duct cleaning. There's only 3% of restoration companies that offer all of those services. Sometimes people just want to dry it out and move on. We are building up our reconstruction department more and more because we also put everything back when we're done as well.
So there's an amount you do in house, and then you guys work with a lot of other contractors to see the project through from beginning to end.
Yep, with some subcontractors, we're working on getting more in-house people. I feel that's one of our largest areas of growth, to take more control and bring on more people that are inside of our organization to get that completed. And we're currently staffing up for that, and we're already seeing some great successes. So it took me a while to change my approach on that, and I'm really happy with where the team's going on that.
So are you saying took you a while to want to outsource outside the company, or you ultimately want to keep everything in house?
We had everything in house all up through 08, 09. And then during that economic downturn, a lot of the checks were going to family members around the community, and we downsized our organization during that time and did more subcontracting, and it's taken us a lot longer to get off of just the subcontracting and have more people in-house to help provide those services, which increases our speed to have people in-house and be in control of that labor.
I know that feeling. In my industry, there's quite a few companies that do the same thing and will work together a lot. There'll be a bigger job. They might need, 4 or 5 vans. It's a big corporate event, or quite a few SUVs, and we can work together to be able to take on bigger jobs because we'll hire a couple of those. But there's, like, just personally, even like there's some companies that do a great job, but I know the quality, it's just the standards that we have. And I think a lot of us as business owners would prefer to keep stuff in house and be able to know that our culture and quality is, because you're essentially having somebody else represent your company in a sense. And that's where it can get murky sometimes.
Absolutely. You couldn't have put it any better, I think. And my dad always says, he's like, it's all about expansion and contraction, and how can you scale an organization to meet those peak times, and then also maintain that commitment to those people that you bring inside the organization, that they will be going home with their full paycheck every week. And we know how important that is.
Yeah, it's a balancing act for sure. And there's a lot of nuance to that between overhead and we could go all over the place with that, but I feel that. So you started in with the family business pretty young, and you've been there forever almost, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, I was cleaning paintbrushes for my dad when I was a little kid. I've been on job sites my entire life. I started full time when I graduated in 2000, working in the field. I love doing restoration. I love going out, all the creative problem solving, and working with the customers and finding a solution for them. So I did 17 years of working in the field, doing emergency after hours calls and running, and then made it up to running crews and running our mitigation team. Like I said, if I was the guy that tore out the drywall, I was the guy that put it back and painted it and textured it and all that fun stuff. So it's really a systematic process. It is very prescriptive, but then, dealing with people and what they need inside their homes and those nuances creates the extra spicy dynamic that people really love it or they don't like it. And the service-minded or people that are out there to help, just they make such a big difference when they have that compassion to show up for the customers. So,
And where are you at now? What's your position within the company?
I am. It's a fun one I'm the cultural cheerleader is basically a good way to put it. It's just I'm the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I I get to spend every day going and motivating and inspiring and challenging people and helping them grow, finding them what their problems are and coach them through um, the staffing
Yeah,
issues
yeah.
or whatever it is. I mean, every day it's just helping people be a better version of themselves, breaking through their mental blocks. And yeah, it's fun. We laugh our heads off.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good thing. That sounds like the culture people want to be in is if they're laughing.
Yeah, and also just point blank serious conversations too. It's a good balance between the two, and it's just that our team is evolving and growing, and it's really cool to see leaders emerging.
How's that transition been from being the guy ripping the old drywall up, putting it up to now
It was hard.
leading a lot more people?
Yeah, I would struggle. I had that if anything's got to happen, and I want it done right, I got to do it myself mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I was in control of things more for myself back then, but my sphere of influence was so limited by what I could accomplish in a day. Um, my my folks really pushed me hard. I didn't really like it. Took a lot of coaches and mentors. Probably, the stress I caused my parents. I've got a pretty good idea of it, but they didn't stop and they kept challenging me and believed in me. And I think a lot of that is what helps set the tone for me. I'm like, man, I had great leaders that helped show me the way and invested in me and cared in me and watched me fail and dusted me off and said, all right, come on, do it again.
Yeah,
Keep going, man.
that's well said. Your sphere of influence, and I can relate because growing up on a farm, that mentality, I'll do it myself. We'll get it done. We'll figure it out by necessity a lot. And then I was just talking with someone this morning about that. At some point, you realize the limitation that you can only do so much in isolation on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it starts with, man, I could really use an extra set of hands to move something,
Yeah.
and then that's the smallest version. But there's, you can use when you get everyone that's good at when they've got their niche and you bring that all together. That's when you have a true well-oiled machine
Yeah.
with all those different. But I feel you because
Yeah.
when I started doing this, it was owner operator. I was doing the work and I was doing the books, and it's it just feels weird to hand stuff off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize you're actually a lot better at that than I am.
Yeah.
Can do it in half the time.
Half the time, right? And as long as they understand what your standard is,
Yeah.
what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate,
Yeah.
what does success look like? Um, yeah. And for me, it was like humbling myself and being like, oh yeah, I'm not perfect. I break stuff all the time, but I find a way to fix it and don't just like walk away. And I think that's been like the biggest thing, even through the transition of my parents when they left the company in 2020. Um, I believe my legacy with the organization is taking that owner-centric business that my parents built, and we were kind of at our growth capacity because a lot of the decision making was going through them. And in that transition, we built our playbook, our standards, our core values, how we behave, how do we succeed, and creating a scalable, duplicatable performance standard and written down and built in value system into our organizations that, allowing us to scale. And now I get to go, hey, all right, come on, get on board and communicate it in a clear way that it's very clear for people that want to do it. And if they don't, they opt out.
What was that process look like? Were you pretty involved in, working out what are the values and what does this stuff mean to us?
Yeah, we worked with, through a book called The Advantage by Patrick Lencioni. And, it's basically culture eats strategy for breakfast. And, we had to define why does Buffalo Restoration exist? And, we define that as it is here to provide value for our customers. So finding out what it is that they value and being able to provide that. We had to define our core values of how do we behave. So compassion, integrity, teamwork, and excellence, and define what does compassion look like, which we call it's having care and understanding for others in their time of need and showing empathy. Integrity is doing what you say you're going to do, even when nobody else is watching, owning your actions and commitments. Notice integrity is not perfection. Teamwork, everybody united in action for a common goal. And we want it to be a great place to work and provide value for our customers. And we have an aspirational value of excellence where I got to show up today and be a better version of myself today, and continue to grow and not just get stuck. Again, excellence is not perfection, but it's driving the team to try harder. Come on, we can do this. We got to grow. We got to change with the industry. We got to change with the community.
Hey folks, Tim here with Mountain Mule. I've got a quick announcement I wanted to tie in here. I'm excited this spring 2026. We're officially going to start doing park tours through Yellowstone Park. These will be day tours starting and ending in Bozeman with custom pickup and drop-off locations along the way. We're building out the program now, so there'll be lots of updates coming through, but please keep us in mind if you've used us for transportation in the past. We plan on delivering the same quality of service, and we're excited to be able to expand what we're doing to have a busier summer for the teams and be able to offer more options. I really like that culture eats strategy for breakfast.
Absolutely.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have the best strategy, but a bunch of people that don't get along and it will fall on its face.
Yeah, I was telling you that conversation I was having when you're betting on the jockey and not the horse, and the jockey is the attitude of the person, and the horse is the kind of the tactics and the skills. And it's I think that's probably a top down thing from very cool. What? Tell me the name of that book again.
It's called The Advantage by Patrick Lencioni. He's got a bunch of different books out on business culture and systems and processes. But we started that in 2018 and refined it through 2018 with our leadership team, 2019 with our leadership team. We had what we called the 2020 vision for Ben and Gail to exit the company in 2020. And we knew that by building our playbook, it's a one-page business plan, that would take the essence of what they built the organization on and make it tangible. And it's not just a felt thing. It's built into our hiring process. I go over it with every new team member day one. We go over it once a month in our company-wide team meetings. And then when I see people executing and doing it, it's cheer them on. Cheer them on. Here we go. Core values. And it's like we have to bring it to life. It's not just a piece of paper that sits on the bookshelf, which we did for a while, and it was stagnant.
Yeah, I've talked to a handful of people that do different type of leadership coaching and training, and that's the exact sort of term they use. It's not something you create once and you stick in a drawer somewhere and you pull out once a year and see if you can remember it.
Yeah.
But I think that to the actual implementation of it is where you really get some merit from it.
Yeah, it lives and burns inside me. It's like, this is what we do. Yeah. And I keep just like, all right, level up on that, build more enthusiasm on that, get crazier about that, yell it in people's face in a kind way. But it's like, yeah, let's do this. It's great.
How does that feel when you see somebody else start to embody it and understand it?
Oh, they're on fire. Like, and I get to watch them. And they're like, is this okay? And it's like, yeah, do it. Do it. When I see people getting animated and like waving their hands around in the air and jumping up and down, I know we're going somewhere.
Yeah, it's a cool feeling when it's you kind of just you gave enough of a spark and then they're on fire in their own way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What does the leadership team look like? That how does this formed, and how do who does it consist of?
It was a main. We had our construction manager, myself, Ben and Gail were in there. We had accounting involved, and when we first started, it was kind of all the main functional heads of the organization. Um, Currently, we have our head of HR, our accounting team member, our accounts manager, our facilities manager, and our operations manager and myself sit on it. I think the lowest tenure on the team with that is 5 years, all the way up to what, I'm 26. We have a 20, uh, a 13, an 8, and 5 year with the company on that team.
That's a lot of depth.
Yeah. And we meet every day. We have a huddle every day. We have a weekly tactical meeting, and I do one-on-one coaching with each one of those individuals once a week. And sometimes we do extra ad hoc coaching. And we all sit on the management team as well. I mean, we're in each other's faces in meetings all the time, and it's wonderful.
So this is an ever evolving thing you're doing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was it? So it was originally just your parents doing this, and then this has evolved to obviously a very larger organism.
Yeah, well, my parents did it organically, unknowingly. I mean, I shouldn't say unknowingly. They were studying and trying to do it. It became aware to us through a peer group, a business peer group that we were in. And when I read and saw the book, I really identified with how important it was. And as I was starting to take over as general manager, assistant GM, I was like, Dad, we got to do this. He's like, fine. He's like, do it, implement it. And it was a bit of a challenge. He's like, let's see what you got. And it was messy and rough at first. It took a lot of trial and error, a lot of trial and error. Um, I think when it really, really caught fire was when I started doing it with every new person in the organization and doing it monthly, um, in our meetings, and creating the connection between what are we doing and how does it just stand on this foundation. Um, it I basically have it memorized. I mean, like I said, it lives inside.
That's good on him too for letting you do it, because at least growing up in the farming world, uh, there's many exceptions to this, but I don't know. Like traditionally, a lot of farmers are very stubborn and they'll do things their way and won't let that change implement. And I mean, the farms that are still farming and in business are those ones that adapted and changed. So it is cool that your father let you, said, do this. I trust you versus, nah, we've always done it this way. So
Yeah, it, it they have always been really big into innovation. One of our defining anchors is leveraging our resources so we can continually evolve and innovate and prosper. And it's just that constant. That's even goes back into that core value of excellence, just coming back and trying again. Sometimes we would be like, gosh, we changed so much. It was hard to stay ahead of it or stay with it through all the changes. But our meeting structure really helped that, keeping everybody on the same page and having just a tireless, we're here on the same page, we're writing it down and meeting together every day to create clarity and alignment and letting the team argue with each other. I love stirring the pot. It's great. I mean, it's like, what does that mean? I mean, I had one time we had somebody who was like, well, I've got a grip full of jobs, right? And I'm like, what's a grip full? Like, and then so now we just joke about it and we define it. Like we have to have specific communication, because what does a grip full mean to you?
I really appreciate that you say that, because that's so vague that it's, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then we all are making our own assumption about what that means.
And it's a way of, we challenge it. It's a way of hiding, right? I can hide behind non-clear communication and just hope that other people will take the bait and buy it and not ask any more questions.
Yeah, that definitely takes a while to get there, to get to that. I mean, just the nuances of that terminology and how much that can but the clarity and then the lack of definition in what we're talking about can just
Yeah.
totally derail things or send it.
Yeah. Where everybody goes, okay. And they agree and walk out of the room and say, what was that? What are we even doing?
Yeah, that's it. It's really cool to hear you talk about this and the emphasis you guys put on it. And I'd imagine it's a very fruitful thing that you do when you're this closely connected to the back to that same phrase you said, culture eats strategy for breakfast.
Yeah.
I just imagine, and I'm right there with you because yeah, you can have the best tactics in the world, and if nobody gives a shit, then
Yeah.
who cares?
Who cares?
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's a foundation of trust too. It's like we trust each other and to be called out. And I mean, it's simple stuff like, did you turn in all your credit card receipts? And are you willing as a leader to accept that or not? Right? Like, what example are we setting on the team? And I don't know. I had told somebody yesterday, I was like, if you continue this, you're going to get fired. And they said, thank you. Thanks for not letting me hide out, Chris. But they were liking hiding out.
Mm-hmm. I no, I agree with you though, because it's a form of enablement when there's no checks and balances. And I feel it now. I feel like I'm very much in a lot of ways in the very elementary stages of this, but we've implemented some new systems and SOPs that have been game changing in a lot of ways. And it's a lot of it's about accountability within each other. So if we're all working together, we got to think about we got to look at it ourselves as a team.
Mm.
Because when we prep these vehicles, start or finish, we're getting it ready for the next person. And now when I look at those checklists and I'm like, my name's going on it because I was in this, and I got to hold myself to this standard. There's no exemptions or exceptions for me just because of my position with this company. Like this company is separate of me, and I need to hold myself to these standards of the company. There's no, oh, well, it's me, so I don't need to. And then otherwise that's a downstream effect that everyone would see that. So
you set the standard.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, good. Like I'm doing this too. This is not, there's just no workaround here. Like this is how we do things. And this is for each other, not for it's not just to benefit me as the owner in the end. So it's very cool. And that's a minor example, but it sounds like that's what you're talking about with that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's set the next person up for success. I even talk about it as like the toilet paper. It's like, are you putting the roll back on when you walk out of the bathroom, or are you leaving your next team member hanging? Right. And then we're like, oh, it's all about the paperwork anyways, but like, how are we setting the next person up for success? Are we taking pride in what we do and saying, here you go? It's not just like dropping the baton and saying, all right, pick it up, buddy. It's like getting it in their hands, looking them in the eyes and saying, you got this? All right, let's go.
Yeah. One that I've been implementing as we're, building out and defining this is we're leaving everything better than we found it.
Yeah.
And I heard a female CEO was saying this in her company. She's like, if somebody, they know in our company, if they don't refill the coffee maker or little thing, it gets an out of order sign for the day and the bathroom. And it's, there's a point where you can get too extreme, but it's, to think about that, this is for the next person.
Yeah.
And this is, like you said, to the bathroom or the coffee maker, simple things, but I've always really appreciated and tried to do my best to live by how we do one thing is how we do everything, because it's true.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah. It sucks.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy. And then when I fail, I got to go own it with the team and say, yeah, I screwed up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the, I don't know, level 10 or something. When you set a standard for yourself and then you're like, you know what, I didn't, like, that's on me. And
yeah,
that's not an easy thing to do.
And they all know it. They watch it. They're like, is he going to own it or not?
Yeah.
It's like, do I have my clothes on? Does the emperor have on clothes?
Yeah. Isn't that a bitch when it's something you set up and you're like, yep, it's keeping me honest.
Oh yeah. No, yep. And they're like, no, we got it. We got it. Or owning it with the team and saying like, I can't do this today. Right. And either they're willing to accept it or they say, I need it done, Chris. So, but that's that transparency and honesty, and we build trust on that. So,
and what is your parents' position with the company now? Because you were saying 2020, exit as far as ownership, or where are they? Where does it stand now?
They still own the company, and we're operating it for them. We have a very defined, what the owners' roles are and what they aren't. They when they walked out in 2020, they dropped the mic in the most respectful way. It was, we trust you, we believe in you, and you can do this. And they left. I mean, COVID started 3 months after they left, which was terrifying for me. My biggest fears of the business failing under my direction got really big and really scary. I was playing the victim. I was scared. And I wanted them to come back and rescue me, and they didn't. They said, "You got this. You can do this." And I really had to rely on the leadership team and our business peers and stuff to help coach me through that time. It was really tough, and when I look back, it was probably one of the bigger blessings um, that was given to me as well.
Yeah, let's kind of back to that enabling. If they just said,
Hmm.
"Okay, here we'll take it from here, Chris.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it." But I'd imagine the development within yourself was pretty strong to get through, especially that, because who the hell saw that coming?
yeah, and we never even allowed remote work once. 3 months into me taking over, it was like, okay, what are we gonna do now? Had to completely change. It was great.
How is it? Do you know how it's been for them? Because I'd imagine that's huge for them to walk away and just be able to walk away and say, "Okay, we're hands off now."
Yeah, we have a great relationship.
Is it better now?
In some ways it is. I kind of miss not hanging out with them
Mhm.
all the time. I mean, I really liked working alongside with them. I'm really proud for what the company and the team has done. Ben and Gail they're stoked. They're hanging out and they're just cheering us along from the sidelines. I love to show them what we're doing, and they're literally just like, "That's awesome, keep going." Um, but they're enjoying retirement, and it's it's a great source of personal pride for myself, to just for them to be able to relax um and know that the business is still functioning with those core values that it was founded on.
Yeah, that's cool. It's in legacy mode in so many ways to be that far in and be able to carry that out.
Yeah,
Do you think that far ahead to, like where will this go if when you're in their position? Do you have aspirations to keep that rolling forward in that way?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd begin with the end in mind.
Uh-huh.
I'm just working on, I don't want it to be like it we are starting to work now for what it will look like one day when I'm no longer at the business. And I told the entire leadership team, I said, if I'm retired on the job, get me out of here, you guys. Like, as long I want to be here providing value, and if you guys see me sit back on my laurels and wait around, it's like, get me out of here. I, so it's um, the team is ambitious and also realistic. But I mean, we've doubled the size of the organization in, well, literally, we did it in 3 years after Ben and Gail left. We've kind of hit another point of stagnation, and I know we are on the verge of doubling it again in the next 2 to 3 years. That's my commitment to the team.
Yeah, I love the way you said that, retired on the job, because that's a great thing to be aware of and say,
Yeah.
because
Like,
it's
yeah.
it's easy to get complacent when things get comfortable.
It is.
Funny enough, so I've been in the Bozeman chamber for quite a few years, but being the solopreneur that I would label myself as when I started this business, making any of those events and all that stuff was almost unheard of because I'm always working, and fortunately with a little bit more time and experience of like structured things so that I can actually go out and be a part of the community and go to them. And the first business during hours I ever went to was at Buffalo Restoration.
No,
And I'm
nice.
like, man, this is a party.
Yeah.
It did like very, kudos to you and your whole team because there was a lot of people there. And then I've talked to someone, they're like, oh yeah, this is the ones here are definitely the ones to come to. And I know you got up there for a minute and thanked everybody. And I was like, is this what they're all like? So you ruined my expectation. But it was very cool that, it was a, very, like quick peek in, into what you guys do and what you have there, but it's a beautiful facility and it was a very cool event. I don't know, sometime around, I think sometime last summer, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably know better than me.
Yeah, no, that was a good event. Thank you for being there.
Yeah.
Um, Ben and Gail set the standard on those. We still, excuse me, it's like, are we going to set the party up to Ben and Gail standards? And we drive it like that. But my dad's like, leadership. You got to be different. You got to be the leaders. Show everybody else how to do it.
Hell yeah. Are you guys on do you have another one on the calendar?
We do. It will be I believe in June. Um, it's a business, I think it's a business after hours coupled with a ribbon cutting.
Nice.
Yeah, we just did a big expansion on our shop through 2025 and have moved in, and it's awesome.
And that's still over in that same area, kind of by map brewing area? Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we put more warehouse space on, put in a big parking lot, and 7 more offices. So
Yeah, very cool. I'll get that on the calendar.
yeah,
And make
please
sure
be there
because it was very cool. Just like I said, a great what an intro to the business during hours, and nothing against any of the other ones, but you guys made an impression for sure.
Great, thank you.
So I was going to ask if you got anything major coming up, but aspirations, and it sounds like there are much more than aspirations with what you guys have done to double. Is there anything in particular with the company that's going on in the future?
It's just continuing to find great people. I think our limitations are ourselves. It's continual recruitment, continual coaching, and building leaders. We can only grow as fast as we find good people and strong leadership. And I know that sounds so basic, and I'm not even trying to hide behind simple answers like that, but it's easy to say and extremely hard to do, um, to maintain that standard and push and drive people.
You might have just said this with everything you just said, but what does it take in your mind to attract and bring those types of people on?
Um, well, I think trust is a big part of it. Our reputation and trust, and I mean, we build our core values into our hiring and onboarding process. It's being very specific and particular in who we allow in the organization, and then growing them when they're in, and if they're not matching our standards, giving them the chance to change or move on. And um it the, when the team sees leadership holding the standard and pushing the line tirelessly, it creates infectious enthusiasm.
How do you guys balance that? I've think about that a lot, and I've experienced it more lately because trust is so imperative. It probably is in every business, but I think to mind how much trust our clients are putting in us because we're putting their friends, family, clients, anyone in our vehicles and driving them around. So there's that inherent trust that our drivers are doing their job, we're taking care of our vehicles, and then it's so imperative internally that we all trust each other. That anyone on our team trusts me, I trust them. And then I always wonder, how do you obviously trust in something, just, hey, you're welcome to the team, we trust you, go out and do your thing. So I always think about that balance of how do you it's a give and take, but how do you think about that as far as how soon do you trust somebody and how do you sort of build that over time?
I mean, I think after the hiring process, I mean, I've heard it say, how do you know if you can trust somebody? Is you have to trust them. and you got to give them the chance, and they need to know what your expectations, what my expectations and my standard are. Um, we've had people on the leadership team break trust with each other. We have to call it out for what it is. We have to make a repair and show a change in behaviors. And I think it's through honesty, humility, knowing what the standards are, and holding each other to it. And yeah, when I fail and break trust, I have to own it and then make a repair and then earn it back. They say titles are given and everything else is earned.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Just you at some point I don't know, it's a little bit intuitive, but you have to have some amount of faith or blind faith, if you'll call it, to give them that initial shot. And then I'd imagine your radar gets more finely tuned as experience accumulates.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, it, and it, and training the team on that to really be able to identify it. Like you said, getting honed in on those identifications, and it can be it's, ooh,
Mhm.
that ain't right.
Yeah.
And saying something, um, instead of just sympathy voting or having that apathy that, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings or whatever. I mean, either people want to be on board or hide out. So
Me and Craig just did that. Craig's he manages the shop and all the drivers, and he's been with me the longest. And we just did interviews this week. It's the first time with this company that I've had someone sit in with the interviews with me, and just to like have someone on the team that I trust like that and his opinion, and then to watch the way we can then build out a team together is it seems so simple, but to me, it's a mind blowing concept because it's a new concept. But it's that trust that and we can then have that conversation after. We'd brief with each other.
mm-hmm.
What did you think? What did you think? And he'd think to ask questions. I didn't, and then I trust his intuition, and he trusts mine, and I'm starting to see day by day. This is how this compounds. When imagine what a third person would do.
Yeah.
And there's other people that will definitely be, a part of a bigger part of the team. I can already tell that they're just not that far along yet, but you can already tell that they're picking that up from me and Craig, and we're like, cool. There's a spot for you when the time's ready, and then it's fun.
Yeah. Show them the way.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks. I feel like I'm definitely figuring out as I go, but talking with people like you and people that have done it is so valuable to hear this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you're going to fail.
Yeah.
And so what do you learn? I mean, now we've even started rating. We're like, okay, who interviewed those individuals and how long did they last with the company? And then we go back and look at the people that are interviewing and evaluate their decision making, get the data up there too and take a look at it.
I feel like that's like level 10.3 when you're rating the way the other people interviewed people. Because we're just checking ourselves right now, and now you're like, that's why it's 10.3.
Yeah.
But I see how this evolves. It just keeps expanding.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably as much as you get out of your own way and let it expand, and find some people along the way that can help.
Yeah. They're great. They're great team members.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. I think I was telling you, like, I'd recently made a hire, and she's helping out with dispatch, and I hear her answer our phones, and I'm like, she's so much better at that than I am.
Do you tell her that?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Cause you just hear it, and I'm like, like, why didn't I hire you forever ago?
Yeah.
But it's letting go is hard.
Absolutely.
But to hear that, and yeah, there's people that are so good at things, and I think if you just give them a place where they can shine, and then stay out of their way.
Yeah.
So
they want to make you proud.
Yeah, it's very cool. Cool, man. And I know one of the first times I met you was, I think it was at the Warriors and Quiet Waters thing that they put on, but someone was saying something about you skiing like an insane amount of months in a row. What was your record that you held?
I did 80 months in Montana.
So all here.
Yeah.
That's a feat.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was a drive. Um, it it took me to a lot of really beautiful places. August and September were the hardest. But it was that, yeah, that passion for the outdoors and going pushing myself.
And you grew up here in Bozeman.
Yep, came here 43 years ago, naked with no money.
That's yeah, and I'm just thinking because growing up here would create the kind of person that would do 80 months straight of skiing.
Yeah, I think it was more me running from my own
Hmm?
my own hardships as a young man.
Fair, yeah.
It was it's fun to hang my hat on it, but when I kind of look back at it, it was like, man, I was having a hard time, and it was a good way. That was like my therapy before I knew what therapy was.
Hmm. I can speak to that too personally because I did a lot more of it, and I hope to continue to do it in the future. But I've been more focused on the business so much Brazilian Jiu Jitsu,
Oh yeah.
and it's like you at some point, and I was going to ask you this, but at some point I'd get these streaks in my head, and I'd almost become a slave to them.
Hmm. Can you elaborate what kind of a streak?
If I want to train at the gym 7 days in a row, or 30 days in a row, or
Mm,
30 weeks in a row, and then I'm no longer even enjoying this thing that was maybe therapeutic and fun to me because I'm just kind of a slave to the I got to get the next, and then so I'm really I try to be really aware of those types of streaks in my head when it's at some point they're beneficial, and at some point I then become the slave to it,
yep.
and
That
it's
yep. That's why I stopped. I got to a point where I was like, I'm not having fun doing it. I'm just doing this for. I'm not doing it for myself anymore.
to check off the
Hmm.
next month essentially.
Yep.
Good on you, because I was going to ask, like, what the hell, Chris? Why didn't you get to 81?
Well, it was a grant. I got invited on the Grand Canyon, and I couldn't do an 18-day trip on the Grand Canyon and go ski that month, and I finally just let her go.
Yeah. Probably like the most freeing thing in the world.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
started a whole nother chapter of my
Yeah. So
life.
what current streak are you working on?
Um, Boy, that's a great question. Um, I think my current streak, I think it's actually just more self-compassion than anything. It's cutting myself some slack. That's probably been my biggest self-intention, is just to be like, it's okay, man.
Hell yeah. That's that's such a beautiful and honorable streak because that's probably one of the harder things to do.
Yeah.
That's what that was, what it is with the jujitsu. It's really easy to go, you know, have my ass kicked and do it day in and day
Hmm.
out when I'm tired and everything else. But to say, I'm gonna relax today and give myself a break. That's the real challenge in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd spent a lot of my life running,
Hmm.
and now when I just have to like sit with myself and be compassionate to myself, it's it's been pretty wild.
So that is skiing. What's your epic drug of choice, or is that what you do a lot in your spare time?
Ooh, it just depends on the time of the year. I mean, right now I've been playing frisbee golf like a crazy man in February.
Oh, my cousin is really into that, and a guy she was dating for a long time. So my cousin, technically she's my second cousin because her father is my first cousin, who's like 30 something years older than me.
I
But
know
just it's
exactly
the
how that works. That's our family too.
yeah, it was when my aunt had kids when she was 19, and my father had kids when he was in his 50s.
Hmm.
So there's a full.
Yeah.
But Greg, my cousin, my first cousin, his daughter Sarah, who was into it, but Greg built a course on the state park he worked on in upstate New York.
Nice.
It's a it's a badass course, but it's fun. I do enjoy disc golf,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I know there's the local place here in town. I know there's one out in Paradise Valley that me and my buddy went and did, and it was kind of like PVC pipes hanging. There
Hmm.
wasn't actual baskets. I don't know what else there is. I know there's something. I think I've seen some baskets up Bear Canyon, and I don't know if those are private.
I know they've got Battle Ridge has the PVC pipes. Ennis has there's one out on the golf course right now. That's really sweet. Paradise Valley at Chico.
Big Sky. There, I did the one on Big Sky with Sarah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Oh, I haven't done that one yet. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
it's kind of right there in the meadow, or like before you get to town center. But it's
yeah, and it's. I mean, for me, it's just whatever the season is. We did a lot of duck hunting this fall. It was so beautiful. So floating rivers, shooting ducks, and having a beer or two that scratches a lot of itches that I have.
Yeah. I haven't thought. I know I have some disc. I haven't done disc golf in a while.
Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah, we should. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Especially if there's. I haven't done anything at the Ennis one, or don't even know anything about it.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time.
We should scope some out because my cousin's coming out. Actually, both of them are coming out this summer, and they would, if time permits, they would love to, because I know it's Greg's first time in Montana, so
sweet.
He'd love that.
Yeah, take him out.
Yeah, getting him off the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Was there anything else anyone should know about Buffalo, about you, about leadership? Because I feel like you just dropped a lot of gems about leadership.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. Fail and try again, and fail and try again. And people, I think I probably hold people back more than by not pushing them or believing in them. And I've made plenty of mistakes. I screwed up jobs, and just own it and make it right. And be kind to yourself along the way and have fun. It's if you're not having fun, I would encourage you to either change your mind or change your path, because have fun. Gotta have fun in what we're doing every day. Life's too short.
Yeah, I feel like that's very valuable advice.
Yeah.
Where can they find Buffalo if they want to inquire with you guys?
Where
can they find you?
Yeah. I spend a lot of time at the shop. I'm probably in a meeting somewhere or out teasing the guys and heckling them and making them, cheering them up out in the shop, helping them get set up for their jobs. But yeah, we're down over by Matt Brewing. And if anybody ever wants to come by and talk about leadership, I am happy to spend an hour or more with anybody.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it helps me live it to give it. So
I like that.
Yeah.
And you guys are on social media, Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
What's the website?
BuffaloRestoration.com. You can check us out there. I know we have an Instagram page, which we do all right on. But or any of the community events, you'll see us out at football games or chamber events, and yeah, I just love to see people out there. If you see anybody in a Buffalo uniform, give them a high five. Okay, and June is the chamber event? Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, come on down. Cool. Have a drink on us. Well, I appreciate your time, sir. Oh, absolutely. Pleasure chatting with you. 100%. All right, we'll do this again sometime. I'd love to. Cool. Thanks, Chris. Mm-hmm. Thanks for listening, folks. You can find the full blog post for every episode, along with key takeaways and links at mountain-mule.com. If you haven't yet, consider following the show. That one small action helps these Montana businesses get seen, grow, and thrive, and it helps this podcast keep going too. If you know a business that would be a good fit for the show, we'd love to hear from you. Just reach out through the website or social. Thank you for supporting these Montana businesses. See you on the next show.